Hello all, welcome to a new video. In this video, we are going to move our player. For that, we are going to create a new folder inside our script folder, and I'm going to call it player. Inside that players folder, create another C# script and name it player moment. All right, so we have made the script. Next, we have to attach the script to our game object. For that, click on our main player game component. Inspector will open on in our right side, and you can see all the component that is attached to that player object. So here you can see we have attached our box collider and animator, and what else? Rigid body 2D. That's most important thing. All right. So for this, all you have to do is drag and drop that particular script towards the player. Then it will attach automatically. Here you can see our player movement script is already attached to our player. All right. So before that, I have to do one more thing. Go to rigid body 2D and go to constraints. You can see uh, you can see the option to freeze the rotation. Here we are only dealing with the 2D object, so we don't need any movement in the Z axis. So we're gonna check the Z axis freeze rotation. All right, and now we can double click and open it C# script. Here you can see our C# player movement file is open in Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever code editor you want. My personal preference is um, Visual Studio. Best, I can say it is the one of the best code editor. And also, why I'm saying it is the best code editor is you can find so many extension or plugins that makes your life much easier. So here you can see, you can go to the plugins and search for Unity. You can see so many Unity plugins that for sure that helps your coding skill and also your efficiency. All right. So here you can see the boilerplate for the C#. So yeah, here you can see two functions. This is the code, or this is the function that will be called after the first frame update. So this is not the first code that is going to execute. So there is another function called void awake. This is the function that will be called when we start our game. So this code first, then the start code second, then the update function will call every second, every frame per second. So yeah, this is how the code work in Unity. There's another function called void fixed update. So you can fix the time interval for that particular function. All right, we will talk about that later. So for the void awake function, we have to initialize our game components. So here we are attaching all the game component and importing all the game components to the script so that we can code and we will have much control over our game object, and also we can manipulate, or we can code as we like. All right. So the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to initiate our public components. So what would be the public component? The public component will be, let's say, the speed or the mass. So the public variable will be, um, I'm going to write float, and I'm going to write speed. So speed will be for f. All right. Don't forget for the semicolon. Then some private function. So So I'm gonna write rigid body 2D, and I'm gonna name it um, player body. Then private animator. I'm gonna name it anim. All right. Here you can see my player rigid body 2D is the player body. So the animator is the anim. So here in the awake function, I can say player body equals get components and what component we want to get. So I want to get this rigid body. Here you can see the rigid body 2D. So I'm going to get this component and I'm going to attach this component to this class. Or so it's basically I'm getting the reference from the Unity to the script. So I'm going to write rigid body 2D and that's it. So I get this reference. All right. Next is the anim. Anim will be get components. So which component I need for the anim? I need the animation right here. We already attached the animation components to our player. Where is it? Here. So I'm gonna write animator. Close tag, and that's it. Here you can see the rigid body 2D. Here I named my rigid body 2D as player body and the animator as anim. And here the player body, I'm getting the components from our game project, rigid body 2D. So I'm getting the functionality, I'm getting the reference of that rigid body to this player body. So if I want to deal with any rigid body properties, I can go to our player body and I can program what I want, right? What we want. And for the anim, we are getting the animator component from the project, and this is just a reference, right? This is just a reference, and we are attaching this reference, and we can later on we can start coding, and we will get access to that components by doing this reference to that game component. All right. Next, we have to create a function that has the control over the velocity or the player movement. So when we click on A or the left arrow key, the player should go to the negative x-axis. So if you are not familiar with coordinates, I can show a picture of it. Next, we have to create a function that controls the player movement. Actually, the player movement on the x-axis. So whenever the user clicks on or press on the A or the left arrow key, the player should go to the negative x-axis, so towards negative. Or if the player tapping on the D or right arrow key, the player should go to the positive x-axis. So how we can do that? So for that, I'm going to create function. I'm going to call the function player walk, and I'm going to create a variable called moment move equal. So I'm getting the input dot get axis row, and which axis row we need, the horizontal. Let's see if we can find any Unity plugins. So I found this Unity snippets. It might work. I don't know, because I have lots of plugins on Visual Studio Code. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna call this player function in the update function. So that in each frame the player function will be called, right? So player walk function will be called, right? Perfect. So here we are getting the axis, right? So let's go and find what we are getting from the variable move, right? So let's print move, right? Okay. So let's go to our Unity. Here you can see we are getting an error in line 26. Let's see what's happening on line 26. So we are getting an error on line 29. Let's see what is this. Oh yeah, it's component. It's not components. My mistake. Really sorry. Let's see if there are any other mistakes I made. Right, nothing now. Let's go and run the game. Here, go to the console. Let's see what happened if I click on the right arrow key. You can see the input is 1. But if I click on the left arrow key, you can see the input is -1. So let's see what if I click on D here, it's +1, and if I click A, that is -1. From this, we can say that if the user clicking on D or the right arrow key, we are getting the +1. That means the player is moving forward. And if we are getting -1 value, that means the player is clicking on A or the left arrow key. That's why we are getting the -1 value. So from here, we can say that, let's go to the script. So from here, we can say that if you're getting the move a positive value, we can move the player towards the x-axis or positive x-axis or forward. Or if we are getting a negative value, we can say that the player is supposed to go towards the back or the negative x-axis, right? So let's write a if else condition. So here we can say that if we are getting, if move is greater than 0, then player body dot velocity equal new vector 2D, vector 2, because we are dealing with 2D object. So the first argument will be speed and the second will be the velocity, right? So we're gonna write player body dot velocity dot y, okay? Or else if move less than 0, then we want to move our player object towards the negative x-axis. So we can say player body dot velocity equal new vector 2, and the x-axis will be negative speed, right? Negative speed, and the y-axis will stay the same because there is no change of y-axis because we are only moving the x-axis, negative x and positive x. All right, let's see what is the result. Let's go and we got an error in line 36. All right, let's see where is 36. All right, always forget to put semicolon. My bad. Now let's go and run the game. All right. All right, here you can see our player is moving, right? I know the speed is, you can control the speed by going to the script. Where is the script? Right here. I don't know what is that. I'm gonna change the speed to 5. Let's see what gonna happen if it is 5. Yeah, it's okay. And that's all for today. Thank you. Bye.